Hello, travelers. Welcome in. Today, as you can see, we are doing more Tales of Time and we are reading more from our book The Edge of Sleep. I'm very excited because we left off on a bit of a cliffhanger last time. But yes, yay, more reading. Yes. Currently a 65 stream streak. Oh my gosh, Skelly. Wow. Before we get into reading, though, of course, I'm going to go over like my little expectations. But also, I've got some news, some fun news. So as you guys know, or for those of you who don't, we have a points goal going on right now, a community points goal, where if we complete it, we get merch. And I'm very excited for that because I've been thinking, I was like, oh, I talked about doing some pins for merch, which I'm still doing. That's what I'm mainly gonna do is the pins. But I was also looking at options for some hoodies because I started doing some hoodie designs and stuff, and so I'm very excited about that. So I might just as well with the pins do a hoodie drop too, just because like I personally love like hoodies, and I think it'd be fun to have like my own hoodie merch, you know. But yes, so there's that too. I was also, now this one's more of like maybe later down the line, but making like a sweater that's similar to um Forsaken's sweater, you know, the one with like that's all gray with like the darker gray lines and then like the heart. I don't know about making that one, but that one might be more later down the line. But for right now, definitely the merch that we have coming in store, if we reach our goal point, we have to reach it. Is the pins and then possibly a hoodie. Hi, Fear. Welcome in. We're doing our reading stream today. Also, the reason why I'm streaming today, which I usually don't stream on Mondays, is because my usual stream that I would do on Thursday, which is the reading stream, is going to be changed because we're doing a collab on Thursday. I'm not sure everyone who's going to be in it quite yet, but I know for sure that Chichin is gonna be there. It's a Yap Yap is the game. We're playing Yap Yap on Thursday with some other streamers, so that'll be quite fun. Um, but yes, if you haven't or would like to donate points to the merch goal, go ahead and do that. Um, no pressure or anything though. But if we don't reach that merch goal, we're not getting it. All right, we gotta reach it. Um, and it sucks because when you're making the community goals and stuff, they only give you like a month. Like you have to do it like month. So like when I was setting up, like the longest time I could have the goal run for is a month, 30 days. So I think it's getting pretty close there, guys. I want to come say hi to my favorite time in any hope stream goes well. How much is the goal? It's 100,000 points. We're halfway there. Um, but I think at the start of the stream, I had my alt account donate 2,000. So we're like halfway there. I think we're like 53, 54,000 in. But yeah, so we're a little more than halfway, I should say. But yeah, also, I have a very funny story to tell you. Oh, thank you, Fear. Also, thank you for popping in and saying hi. We are reading The Edge of Sleep, by the way, so if you want to stick around and hear that. We did start it last week though, so hi, Wind. Thank you for the for the points. We're over halfway there. Still 17 days to donate. Yeah. Oh, you're good. Thanks for popping in, Fear. Thank you, thank you. But right, my funny story. Let me tell you it. Okay, so we were picking up the kids from school, all normal, all great. We were on the bus. One of my favorite kiddos. Yes, I do have some favorites. He's definitely one of my favorites. He was sitting like across the seats from me, like the aisle was between our seats, and we were both on the edge seat. And he kept grabbing my arm and like squishing it, and I was like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing? Why you grab my arm like that?" And he was like, "Miss Pocket, you're gonna get fat." And I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Oh, that's not very nice." And then my coworker, who was sitting like kind of diagonally behind me, like turned around because she heard it and was like, "Oh, no, that's not very nice to say to Miss Pocket. Like, that's very mean." And he straight up turned to her and was like, "Well, you're already fat." And I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "Oh my God." I turned to him and I was like, "Hey, So we can't say that. And he literally was like, well, my parents say it to each other. And I'm like, well, listen, bud, here's the thing. Your parents could say it to each other, sure, but you cannot say it to adults or say it to people you don't know because it's not nice. And he was like, whatever. And I was like, oh my God. By the way, he's like 5. So, yes, kids do say the darndest things. Also, hi, Fossil. I know we were kind of like following each other back and forth from TikTok and then onto Twitch. But hi. Welcome in. We're doing our reading stream today. We're reading The Edge of Sleep. So we did start it last week. So if you don't want any like spoilers or you think you'll be really confused, it's okay if you're just here to like say hi and then dip. That's completely fine. Hi. But yeah, no, I had to turn my head away when she was talking to this kid because I was literally laughing. I could not stop myself from laughing. And then I had 2 other kids sitting right next to me and they were looking at me and they're like, Miss Pocket, why are you like laughing like that? Yeah, you're here to fall asleep. That's fine. Also, if you're just here to like have white noise like playing in the background while you try to fall asleep or something like that, that's totally cool too. I will take it, you know? I will literally yap to myself. Well, I'm gonna be reading, but also I haven't gone through the expectations yet. But just so you know, I have not read this book myself first. The previous 2 books I did read, I think, before. Yes, I did read beforehand, before I did the reading streams. But this one I'm also reading along with you guys. So if I stop and make comments like, what was it? Last time I like was reading and I said cock on accident, I'll literally just stop and like talk to myself about that. Yep, I'm here for the sneezes. Last time I got knocked out. Thank you for this pod. Yeah, no problem, Lynn. No problem. I'm here to please. I'm here to please. Yeah. Yeah. I'll try not to. But yeah, so I'm also reading this. So if I literally stop and I start like making commentary, when when I read by myself, like I read in my head, but I'll like talk to myself out loud as I'm reading, and I like talk back and forth myself. It's really weird. Like last stream, if some of you managed to stay awake, I'm sure you noticed me talking to myself about certain parts of the book. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. Having said that, we're gonna go on to the expectations. I'm so happy I didn't wake to that word. I would have to start questioning my identity. Oh no, we don't want that to happen. Right. Expectations. It'll give me 1 minute actually. I now have to hold on, let me find it. Let me find the expectations. Okay. There it is. Tales with Time expectations. Number 1, no spoilers. You may know the story or you may have watched the TV show with Markiplier in it. That's great and all. Don't spoil it for everyone else who is listening and trying to enjoy the story as we go. I See, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I love spoilers. I have read the end of the book. I read the end of every book. I watch the end of every movie and every TV show. I have to know the ending. I will not spoil it for you. Especially if you ask me not to spoil something, I will not spoil it for you. So don't worry about that. But I personally, I like spoilers, so I don't mind them. But everyone else would like to not be spoiled, so don't do that. Which leads to number 2, please be respectful. You may have different opinions about the book, about the TV show. That is fine, as long as you also respect everyone else's personal opinions about them. And don't spam. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Don't spam, like, I don't know, the word penis in my chat like 30 million times, okay? If you're going to spam something, at least make it relevant to the book. Also, 3, I am not a pro audiobook reader. I'm not a voice actor either. I don't do that. I'm not good with voices. But if you would like to hear a professional audiobook, definitely go check out this book, buy the audiobook, whatever it is. Go watch the show. Like it's really good so far. So yeah. Also, I just now realized I just talked through an ad. You're our pro storyteller. Thank you. But you know what? That just warms me up inside, Win. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also, I have been like kind of on and off sick. Like I say on and off, but it's really, I feel not sick in the day. And then as it becomes night, I feel like shit. So if my voice starts getting crackly or bad, it's because I feel like shit. Well, I got turbo with even our ads. You know what? That's fair. Also, my drink of choice today is sweet tea. I've been forgetting to say what my drink of choice is lately in my streams, and I'm very upset about that, guys. I need to like pick back up on what my drink of choice is because I love sharing what I'm drinking with you guys. It's pure leaf sweet tea today. I'm not actually the biggest fan of Pure Leaf just because their tea is really bland to me. I really like their extra sweet tea, but they didn't have that when I went to the gas station. So I just got their regular sweet tea. And then and I made the mistake of eating a push pop before I drank it. And it's I got the blue one. It's like the really sweet like lollipop. And I ate that, and then I drank the tea, and I was like, "Why the fuck is this so fucking bland?" I love like sweet, sweet tea. Like I like that southern sweet tea real bad. And so when I drank this, I was like, this is gross." But I'm hoping now, since I haven't eaten a push pop again, and I drink this now, it's not gonna be as bad as I thought it was before. Because if it is, I'm just gonna be very sad and just not drink it. Mm, it's it isn't as bad as before, but it is not good either. It's still very not sweet, as well, not as sweet as I would like for it. Like I want it to be like give me diabetes type sweet, But this will do, I suppose. But yes, I realize I have been yapping. So let me grab the book here and I will go ahead. Sweet tea, yes, sweet tea. I think where we last left off in the book was we're in the elephant chapter, which actually let me scroll to that real quick. We're in the elephant chapter or section because it's split up weird in the book for whatever reason. We didn't finish it, but I think we're about to finish it. And where we last left off is they just left the hospital. They figured out that everyone was dying in their sleep. So if you fall asleep, you die, basically, is what we just learned. And so now our main character, David, I think is on his way to like find his girlfriend who isn't sure is alive or not yet. Yet not? Not yet, yes. Um, and they're like I don't know, they're like freaking out because they're like, oh my God, everyone's dying in their sleep. Can we never sleep again? Yada, yada, yada. But anyway, that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start. I don't actually remember. Actually, no, I do remember. No, just kidding. I'm looking for what paragraph I stopped on. Usually, I put sticky notes in my books when I'm reading because I write notes as I read. I know I'm one of those people. I'm one of those book nerds. I annotate as I read, but when I'm doing the reading streams, I don't have time to like stop. Well, I say I don't have time, but it's more so I just feel like if I pause for like long amounts of time to like annotate, it's gonna just be really boring. So I don't annotate as I read for like reading streams. I'll probably go back and read this book and annotate, but I don't do that for reading streams. So then I get lost in where I am sometimes. So I have to find where I was, guys. Give me 1 minute. Um, I think we're just gonna stop, or we're gonna start at the top of the page. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're just gonna do that. Actually, we'll start at the first like chapter in the section. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Here we go, guys. It's time to get snuggled up. Grab your drinks and your blankets and get snuggly. All right. The Elephant, Section 5. The house at 465 Higuero was Edward Ortega's first, purchased in the late 1970s for $36,000. The years and the market have been kind to the property's value. Despite its modest size, the house would sell for close to $1 million now. Maybe a million too. For the last 5 years, Edward had been making slow improvements, hoping that when he decided to sell, these would result in a better price. His last addition, before the night he went to sleep and didn't wake up, was a pair of stained glass foyer panels. The sun hit them in the morning, breaking into brilliant facets that played upon the foyer tile. The paving stone punches through the window, spraying colored glass across the floor. The stone itself lands on one of the terracotta tiles, corner first, fracturing the tile in place. Dave reaches through the broken panel to unlock Edward Ortega's front door. As he steps through the doorway, he hears an echo of breaking glass farther down the street. Mateo and Linda performing their own strategic home invasions. Anyone home? Dave calls out, glass crunching beneath his heavy shoes. Hello? For a long moment he stands in the entry, letting the silence fall over him. To his left, down a short hall, he sees an empty breakfast nook, alive with sunlight. The stairs to his right are empty. The house is still, clearly as dead as its owners. Images of Randy's bedroom intrude on his thoughts. He doesn't want to go upstairs. He knows what he'll find up there. The certainty unnerves him. Wasn't it just a day ago he had a relatively ordinary life? Perfectly dull, wonderfully uninteresting, with boring, familiar, everyday problems. My problems were never ordinary, he reminds himself. Don't fool yourself. The three of them reconvene beside the Camaro, still parked at the spotlight. Both Linda and Mateo look dazed. Well then, Dave says, I guess we all found the same thing. Mateo wipes sweat away with his forearm. He begins, but he trails off looking at his feet. Linda sinks to the asphalt and leans against the bumper, sucking in lungfuls of salty air. Yeah, Dave says. Every house, same thing. Everyone's dead. Were they all in bed? Linda asks thinly. I found one guy on the couch, Mateo offers. He dropped a cigarette on his shorts. There was a burn. He points toward the storefronts. I checked a few of those. At the gas station on the corner, there's a woman. She's on the floor. Behind the register. There's a lot of blood, but she looked peaceful. I think she fell asleep on her stool. I think she hit her head when she fell. So we weren't wrong, Linda says, rocking slightly. Maybe it's a virus, some kind of pathogen, but it's tied to sleep. Randy and Becca, Dave says, counting off names. Tony, the bong guy, Mateo says. The lobby people. Brittany, Linda croaks. Everyone we just... Dave trails off. They were all sleeping, like your patients, Linda. Yo, I have seen some crazy shit, Mateo says, voice rising. But this whole town did not just go to sleep and fucking die. This is insane. Maybe, Linda muses, but that doesn't mean we're wrong. I'm gonna be sick. Guys, we're not asking the most important question, Dave says. The rims of his eyes ache, like he scrubbed them with fine grit paper. What are we supposed to do now? Stay awake forever? Ow! Thank you for the raid, Luminous Drago? Luminous. And Cheshire. Thank you for the raid. Hi, I am Pocket of Time, your local time entity. Oh my gosh. Hi. We are currently doing our reading stream. We're reading The Edge of Sleep at the moment. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate you guys. Let me give you a little shout outs real quick. I know like the shout outs are time you out, but I will get your guys' shout outs in there, okay? Hold on. Let me spell, if I can spell. Oh, there's one. Let's see if it'll let me do another one in a row. Probably not, but I will get yours in there too, Cheshire. Yeah, I have to wait a minute. But yes, we are doing our reading stream. What am I saying? Oh yeah, we're reading The Edge of Sleep. We started it last week, so we're not really in the middle of the book. We're still kind of in the beginning. But if you don't want any spoilers or you don't want to know anything about it and read it yourself, go ahead and do that. Or if you need to go and dip out after raiding, that's completely fine too. Again, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. We're gonna continue with the book. Oh gosh, where was I? Okay. Oh, there we are. Guys, we're not asking the most important question, Dave says. The rims of his eyes ache, like he scrubbed them with fine grit paper. What are we supposed to do now? Stay awake forever? Maybe it's past, Mateo says. If it is a virus, maybe we can't catch it now. Maybe it's okay. Belinda looks gravely at Dave. We have to call everyone we know. We have to tell them not to sleep. It's 7 in the goddamn morning, Mateo cries. If we wanted to warn people, we're half a day too late. He grabs at his head. Dios mío, my mother, my sister. I have an aunt in Europe, Linda says. Maybe I can... Dave's heart sinks. You don't think... How do we know how far this thing goes? Linda asks. Dave takes his phone from his pocket and presses redial. He turns away from the others, walks into the middle of the empty intersection, and listens to the phone ring. There's a soft click in his ear. Katie, David says. Oh God, honey, This is Katie, says the voice in his ear. Resident overworked millennial. If I'm not answering, it's probably because I'm wasting my late 20s at a dead-end job that hardly pays the bills now, much less lets me put away something for when I'm old and gray, or I'm catching a nap in my car before my second no future job. So, leave a message if you want, but maybe reconsider. Yes, it is the edge of sleep. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me see if I can get that shout out for Cheshire out. Hell yeah, we got it out. All right, now we're continuing. Where am I? Oh, Dave could kill her for such a long message. This is no time for Katie, he cries as soon as her phone beeps. The words tumble out of him like water. Listen, you're screening. I get it. But please, not today. Pick up, honey. Pick up. It's more important than you... Look, don't go to sleep. Jesus, please don't be asleep. Stay awake. You have to stay awake, and you have to call me. Call me. He ends the call, then stares at his phone. Behind him, he hears Linda comforting Mateo. Someone is crying. Fuck it, he says and redials. This is Katie, resident overworked. God damn it, Dave barks at the phone. Linda comes up to him, shoes crunching gravel. Your friend's wound real tight, she says. I can tell you are too. Who are you? Queen Calm all of a sudden? Dave snaps. Then he grimaces. Fuck. I'm sorry, Dave, the world just ended. It's okay. You really think... We have to warn people. Not everyone works day shifts. I bet there are a lot of people just like us. Scared, confused. Like us. Right. So how do we find them? They stroll back to the Camaro, where Mateo is on his feet, bleary and unsteady. There are 60,000 people in Santa Mira, Dave says. We can't keep searching houses and crossing our fingers. We need a better way, Linda agrees. But I don't know. Cops have loudspeakers in their cars, right? Maybe we... So do ice cream trucks, Dave imagines. Oh, sorry. Dave imagines the three of them trawling the town, shouting over, Pop goes the weasel. Guys, Mateo says, voice thick. No. He leans into his Camaro, switches the key, then turns on the radio. The smooth and crazed energy of the all-night radio jockey swells to fill the car. If you've got a belly full of burgers and you're all fireworked out, why not wind down your Independence Day with a good old American kick in the ass? A little classic revolutionary rock with your old pal Larry, Dave finishes. He's right. Half the town listens to that show, especially night shifters. It's the best place to start. He'll be off the air soon. It's nearly 8. Linda's head bobs. So there's just one question, I guess. Mateo? Mateo's eyebrows lift. Linda pats the Camaro's hood. Just how fast does your baby fly? The Elephant, Part 6. Steam billows from the Camaro's grill. When Mateo pops the hood, he disappears in clouds of it. Fuck, he says, and levels a kick at his bumper. He stops just before his foot makes contact. Motherfuck! Maybe, Dave says. 60 would have been okay. No stoplights, no traffic. Maybe 95 was pushing it just a little. Fuck off, Mateo says, and plunges into the clouds of steam. Ow, god damn it. Mateo, that's hot steam. You gotta be careful, Linda starts. Lady Christ. Dave jogs to the sidewalk and tries Katie's number again. Pick up, he mutters, dreading her voicemail greeting. Come on, Kate. The phone clicks, and Katie, aggrieved, says, Dave, okay, listen, you can't... Katie, oh God, Katie, holy shit, thank God. Katie, listen, you've... Stop talking over me. Dave stops. I'm sorry, but no, Katie, no, I'm talking. Jesus, you never listen. You can't do this. She's out of breath already. He can hear the rage in her mouth, garbling her words. That was the whole problem. You can't just do what you want when you want. You can't just stomp all over. I set boundaries. You don't respect my Katie, Dave interrupts. Baby, we can have this argument 100 times, but later, right now, I need you to listen. It's important. No, okay, you're right, she says. Her heavy breath is static in the tiny speaker. You're right. Not right now. Because I've been up all night and I'm exhausted. So another time. We'll have coffee. We'll talk about it. Bye, Dave. No, Katie! The line goes dead, and Dave nearly fumbles the phone trying to dial again. But this time, the phone doesn't ring. This is Katie, resident overworked millennial. Dave's muscles tense as he waits for the message to finish. But this time, no beep comes. Instead, a computerized voice says, "I'm sorry, this account holder's voice box is full. Goodbye." The goodbye sounds almost sarcastic, and Dave very nearly throws the phone at the street. Instead, he runs back to the car where Mateo says, "Okay, I've narrowed it down to the water pump or the fan. Good news is I've got tools in the back and I can probably fix—" "Larry's going to be off air in 12 minutes, Linda says, at the same time Dave says. "Katie won't talk to me." Then Dave says, "Fuck this," and breaks into a run. "Dave?" Linda says. "Dave!" "The hell's he going?" Mateo asks. "Dave!" Linda bellows. "Where the hell are you going? We have to stick together." The Elephant, Part 7. Katie drops her phone on the night table, then pulls heavy curtains across the window, blotting out the sun. She strips out of her company polo and khakis, takes a quick shower to scrub away the long night, then stands in the mirror in one of Dave's old t-shirts and brushes her teeth. Most mornings she can hear the clatter of dishes as a single mother next door rushes about, preparing breakfast and school lunches for her 4 children. Today, however, the apartment is blessedly silent. She drifts from bedroom to kitchen, trying to ignore the clutter. Her hiking pack and assorted gear are scattered around the living room. On Saturday, she's meeting Jumpa for a hike on the Palisade Creek Trail. Tomorrow, she thinks. But then she spots yesterday's takeout container on the kitchen counter. Noodles hardened, peas shriveled. "Do it now," she amends. "Don't be an ass." She switches the radio on and begins tidying up. "We've been rocking all night long here at KPWG. Let me tell you, this place is one happy disaster zone. But all parties, as you know, must end. And on that note, let your old friend Late Night Larry, lull you to sleep with the dulcet tones of, oh, I don't know, some guy with a saxophone." Katie frowns as smooth jazz spills from the radio. She switches it off, then yawns so hard she worries her face might split open. She pushes the takeout carton into the trash, then squats beside her hiking pack for another game of backpack Tetris. The only sound in the neighborhood is Dave's footfalls. Oh, Jesus, I just missed like a whole section. Section 8, the elephant. The only sound in the neighborhood is Dave's footfalls, hammering the pavement, echoing off parked cars and still houses. No one passes him in lycra shorts. No cars interrupt as he runs to save time. It's just him in the neighborhood. The quiet, dead neighborhood. He cuts down a dirt alley between rows of homes, then across a lawn festooned with sprays of gardenias and calendulas. Calendulas. Is that a flower? Calendulas. Calendulas. Yeah. Then he stops, nearly tripping over his own feet, at the sight of a body swaying gently in a hammock. A newspaper buckled over its face. A blackbird. A crow? A raven? Dave can never remember the difference, is perched upon the newspaper, pecking through the headlines at the face of the corpse beneath. Dave isn't religious, but he makes a sign of the cross anyway. Then he runs. Faster. Section 9. "No one's answering at the station," Linda reports. "No shit," Mateo, still bent over the engine, leans to his wrench. "Unscrew, you bastard. Just come fucking loose." He staggers backwards as something pops free, clattering into the depths of the engine compartment. Linda turns around. "That didn't sound good." Again, Mateo grunts, his feet lifting off the ground as he reaches deep into the car's guts. "No shit." "We're actually in shit here," Linda says. "I don't know if you've noticed." "Hey, we don't know each other all that well," Mateo says, struggling. "But if you could just maybe shut your—" "Out of the way," Linda says, snaking her lean arm through the tangle of hoses and tubes, and deftly retrieves the lost screw. "How's that?" Mateo's face goes blank. "Great. Fine. Okay." While he keeps working, Linda says, "Dave told me you're a vet. Army?" Mateo doesn't reply right away. Finally, he says, "Air Force. Lots of vet traffic in the ICU, you know. The worst of them. They come in drunk, high as a paper kite. Bar fights, domestics, DUIs. Linda waits, but Mateo doesn't say anything. "A lot of them, though. They're like you." She can see the pale seam of a scar stitched through Mateo's hair, carrying things they should have left behind. Don't start diagnosing me, Mateo grunts. And we aren't all shitheads like that. Maybe only half of us, just like any other demographic. Well, since you're the only one left, I think the average is a little better. Mateo hands Linda the wrench, then the winch. Sorry. Then jogs to the front seat and tries starting the car. This time, the engine fires. Clicks a little, she observes. It clicked before. Mateo takes the wrench back, tosses it into the back seat, then drops the hood with a slam. As they slide into the car, he says, "You don't really believe that, right? That we're the only ones left? Honestly?" "Usually that's all I want," he says. "Honesty. But I think I'd prefer a lie, truth be told." "We'll find more people. I promise." His eyes narrow. "Right. So, now I can't tell. Was that honesty or a kind lie?" "I'll never tell." Linda's eyes gleam. "We going now or what?" The Elephant, Part 10. In, out. In, out. In through the nose, Katie thinks, and out through the mouth. Nice and slow. The circumstances are ideal. Freshly laundered sheets still with that drier sheet smell. Near total darkness, compliments of her new blackout curtains. The apartment is clean. Her shift won't start for 11 hours. Her phone is powered off. There's literally no reason she shouldn't already be snoring. "Fuck you, Dave," she mutters. She can't stop the conversation from looping in her head. She'll need a distraction. She tumbles out of bed with a grunt, then trots to the kitchen for her radio. Along the way, she pauses in the living room and grabs the heaviest, dullest book she owns. The National Audubon Society Field Guide to North American Birds. She switches the radio on and crawls beneath the blankets with the book. Announcing 3 lucky winners of our 4th of July raffle. First prize, lest you forget, is a weekend at the Santa Mira Lodge and Spa and the Honeymoon Bungalow right on the river, complete with your own private hot tub. Man, a good soak sounds terrific right now. Put these old bones right to sleep. All right, hang in there, folks. One last commercial break, and then we'll give our winners a ring. Late Night Larry's gonna grab a little siesta. Katie flips through the book at random, then begins to read. "The Corvidae family," she says aloud. "Crows, ravens, rooks." Within a few sentences, she can feel her brain losing its grip on the world, getting tipped up by the Latin phrases. There we go. The Elephant, Part 8. Dave pulls up short, a vicious stitch in his side. He shakes out his ankles and wrists, tries to regulate his breathing. "The hell am I?" he wonders aloud, scanning the nearest intersection street signs. Godfrey and Calloway? Godfrey. Last fall. A party in the hills of Godfrey Lane. Katie had been bored out of her skull, trying so hard to be good. He'd been so proud. Not a single drink that night. Well, until they got home. He shakes off the memory, trying to picture instead the view from the party house, high above town, from where he could see the way Godfrey curved down, through the Loring woods, toward shortcut. He takes off again, hobbling a little, and cuts through an unfenced yard, then a town park. He veers wide around a park bench where another body slumps, fingers dangling into the grass. Stay awake, Katie. Stay awake. At the far edge of the park, he encounters a wooden fence. There's no gate in sight. He tries going over it, but catches his toe on a plank and goes down like a sack of stones. The Elephant, Part 12. Mateo and Linda stand in front of the radio booth, silently taking in the scene before them. "Well, shit," Linda says finally. In the booth, Late Night Larry's workspace is a literal disaster. Empty Red Bull cans clutter the soundboard, are crushed and scattered around a blue bin. Snickers wrappers and crumpled Taco Bell bags snow the ground beside the trash can, which is already overflowing with potato chip cellophane. In the middle of it all, a man in a pit-stained Hawaiian shirt lies slack in his office chair, sliding toward the floor as slowly as a cooling lava flow. Little plastic dinosaurs and palm trees are glued to the desk. "Late Night Larry," Mateo says, real sadness or disappointment in his voice. Abruptly, the radio man slips out of his chair and falls heavily to the floor, joining junk food wrappers. The chair pinwheels away from the body and collides with a rack of compact discs. Plastic cases and shining discs clatter to the floor around Larry. I want to feel bad and all, Linda begins. Don't, Mateo warns. Late night Larry might be a joke to you, but he means something to me. Larry's tongue has tumbled out of his mouth, a gray pink slug that rests on the dusty frayed carpet. Meant, Linda corrects. Hi, Lemus. Welcome in. The Elephant, Part 13. Katie's always imagined Sleep like the hottest nightclub in the city, where the live music is a bop and the line is always twisting out the door and down the block. Theoretically, anybody can get in, but the door guy is hard to please, and once you're inside, there's 1,000 drink minimum. She's just convinced the door guy to, oh my god. She's just convinced the door guy to unclip his little velvet rope for her when the front door to her apartment splinters. The door guy punts Katie 10 miles, and she falls out of her bed, cottony and dazed. The sound of the door frame cracking follows her out of the dream, and she snaps awake, alert. She reaches beneath her bed, searching for the tape-wrapped handle of her father's old Louisville slugger. With a bang, her bedroom door crashes open. Katie swings blindly. "The fuck out of my house!" she screeches, and the bat connects with a satisfying thud. Dave takes the brunt of it across his back, yelps, and goes down. "Jesus, Katie," he hollers, going fetal. Katie drops the bat. "Dave, what the fuck?" "Oh, god damn, you got a good swing," Dave moans. "I think you might have exploded my kidney." "I'm calling the cops," she says, and makes for her phone. "I thought we just talked about boundaries." "You have no idea how relieved I am you're awake," Dave groans. "Oh, hi, Aldar. Welcome in. We're doing our reading stream. We're reading The Edge of Sleep." While Katie's phone boots up, she studies Dave severely. "You kicked in my door," she snaps. "Are you high?" "I'm not." Her face softens just a little. "Was it?" "It wasn't. Isn't." Dave shakes his head and makes a show of pinching himself. "I'm wide awake, baby." "Don't you dare," she says, and she presses the emergency button on her phone. "I'm dialing." "It's okay. They won't answer." He shakes his head once more, suddenly beyond weary. His supply of adrenaline is tapped. The pills that he took a year ago, it seems, are fucking with him. The line doesn't ring. Instead, her phone just chirps soullessly. "My call won't go through," she says, confused. 911's supposed to always go through. It's like a rule. Dave struggles upright. "Stay there," Katie warns, reaching for the bat again. "I'll scream, Dave." "Everything's going good. How about for you, Outer?" "Ugh," he grunts, clutching his back. "No, it's okay. Go ahead. Be my guest. Scream." "I'm not fucking kidding, Dave. I'll..." "Fire!" Dave yells loudly as he can manage. He hammers the wall that separates Katie's apartment and the single mom's. "Everybody out! Building's on fire!" "Dave!" "Listen," he begins. "Dave, Katie, listen!" Dave holds up a finger to his lips, cocks his head as if waiting for something. But there's nothing. The apartment is quiet. The building is quiet. "Where is everyone?" Dave whispers. "It's early, Katie. Guy upstairs? He ought to be stomping on the floor to tell you to cut out the noise, right? Lady next door, she'd be at your door right now, telling you not to wake up her kiddo, right?" Katie's lip trembles, but she doesn't say anything. "So where are they?" he asks. He hobbles to the busted front door, then steps onto the landing. Katie reluctantly follows, staring at the wreckage of her door. From the landing, Dave and Katie can see the entire horseshoe-shaped complex. "There's a fire!" Dave shouts again. His voice breaks a little. "Everybody out! Hurry! Fire! Fire!" But not a single door in the building opens. Nobody yells for Dave to shut the fuck up. Dave points at the parking lot. "See? It's full," she says. "It's usually half empty when I come home from work." "Exactly. This is what I'm saying. They're all home, Katie. Why aren't they hearing me?" "What's going on, Dave?" "A bad thing, Katie. The worst thing But he's interrupted by a voice from inside. Katie rushes to the bedroom, then comes back holding her radio. "Emergency broadcast. Look, I'm just gonna come right out and say it, okay? Do not go to sleep. If you can hear my voice right now, stay awake. My name is Linda Russo. I'm an advanced practice registered nurse at Santa Mira Medical Center. If you're hearing me, come to the hospital. We don't know if this is some kind of pandemic or an attack. We don't know. Again, this is an emergency." "Thank Christ," Dave breathes. "They made it." She sounds so calm, Katie wonders. Believe me, she's terrified. "Is it a radio drama? Like the old days?" I wish it was, Dave hesitates, debating what to tell her. Sweetie, a lot of bad things happened last night to a lot of people. It's not a drama. It's real. Why can't we go to sleep? Because it happens when you sleep, he says gently. What does? Katie, what happens, Dave? She lowers the radio, then lets it fall to the floor. What happens? People die, he says finally, and nobody knows why. Katie panic laughs. Her eyes fill up and spill over. Hey, Dave says, it's going to be okay. That's not it, she shakes her head. I couldn't fall asleep, Dave. Dave leaves her and rushes back to the bedroom. On the nightstand, next to Katie's bird book, is one of Dave's expired prescription bottles, uncapped. All right, Dave says, adapting to this new reality. Katie has followed him and stands nervously in the doorway. She looks so small, he thinks. It's okay. It'll be okay. How many did you take? When? I fucked up, she says, eyes glistening. Dave, I think I fucked up so bad. And that is the end of the elephant section. So, Katie's alive. Dave found her. They managed to get a signal out to hopefully some more people who are awake and alive still. Linda and Mateo did. Larry died, our poor radio host, which is unfortunate. And I'm assuming now they're all gonna meet back up at the hospital, maybe with some more survivors. But Katie also took a bunch of sleeping pills, so that is definitely not good. That just as a nice little recap for the elephant section. Let's go on to the next one. The next section is called Dispatches from Earth. That's me. What's you? What, taking a bunch of sleeping pills? Is that what you're saying? I'm going to take a sip of my drink, too. Which, those of you who don't know, it is sweet tea today. Pure leaf sweet tea. Tasty. Yummy. I'm taking them later tonight, okay? Lemus, I take them after my streams, okay? So, yeah, I will, okay? All right. Section 4, Dispatches from Earth, Part 1. She calls herself Async04 because once her favorite game streamer was this chick called Unsynced. But she always thought Unsynced sounded really stupid. Async, though, that had a cool ring to it. I won't forget. Okay? The A part was, like, anarchy. Or at least maybe people would think that. Most people, though, think it's a play on NSYNC, which she did not anticipate and now thoroughly regrets. Async scrolls through her Twitch. More than she's doing Twitch too. Sorry. More than oh, so stupid. More than half the comments are the usual, are you Timber Blake's niece or something? And yo, when you swap in Twitch for OnlyFans, girl. Another 30% are bots and spam. Somewhere in the 20% that remains are her legit fans. The ones who pick up any game she streams just because she streamed it. She shrugs out of her Baskin-Robbins apron and runs a hand through her short, stabby hair. She's too tired to stream tonight. A double takes it out of her, and tonight the mall shop she works for was swarmed. The vintage record store nearby did some live music thing, so she had to listen to the awful reverb of clashing guitars and a bagpipe. Who puts a bagpipe in a rock band? She keeps scrolling through her Twitch comments while she brushes her teeth and keeps scrolling while she puts on sweatpants and a Steven Universe t-shirt. Volt Fairy. At Async04, did you hear? Big loot run in Caverns of Chaos. Silver Tongue is rumored to be in the mix. You couldn't find it if it was lying on the floor in front of you. Caverns of Chaos are a Dungeons and Aristotle horde. Oh my god. Caverns of Chaos are a dungeon and Aristotle's horde. Tired old oh my god. I never know how to say this word, so I'm just gonna do like the initial, the MMORPG. No, that's how you say it. The fuck? I'm just stupid. Where every player is an adventurer seeking the philosopher's treasure keep. In this game, Aristotle was not just a student of Plato, but the center of a secret wizard society that orchestrated the rise and fall of nations. When Aristotle ascended into the clouds, transforming into a wyvern, he left behind a hidden cave of his riches and magical artifacts. The silver tongue is one of the 7 unique items that, when combined, will imbue their owners with Aristotle's sight, which will guide the player to the treasure. Because there are thousands of players, but only 7 items, factions have formed among the gamers. Vault Fairy runs the Platonic Boyfriends, a team made up, it seems, strictly of online trolls. Async, who hardly bothers with this low frame rate garbage game anymore, is a captain in the Erudites. A few messages later, though, she finds this from Socratron, the leader of her clan. Socratron, at all Erudites clan, attention all, mandatory dungeon run. Prime goal, find the silver tongue. Secondary goal, swipe Flamer clan's fleet feet artifact while they're distracted. Anyone who doesn't show is benched 30 days. No exceptions. Async shakes her head. She's 90% sure Socratron is a 14-year-old boy from Iowa. If he had a job, or were a parent, or went to college, he'd be more forgiving with his clan scheduling. Everything's mandatory to him. Still, she would like to see someone assemble all of the artifacts. The Erudites have 3 already. If they can snag the fleet feet and the silver tongue, fuck it, she thinks and logs on. Hey, homies, she says, fitting the headset over her head. Async here, coming at you with the most bloodshot eyes in the history of time. Not from the weed, no. I've been slinging scoops for 13 hours. She holds up her discarded apron. My hands smell like pralines and cream. I don't even know what a praline is. Whatever. Tonight I'm playing Aristotle even though I never want to play that shit again. Look at this. She complains, firing up the endgame menu. What is this? 9 pixels? Stunning level of detail. A yawn splits her face open. Sorry, you guys, I'm straight beat, she laughs. Things you do for love of the game, right? She joins the rest of the Erudites at the mouth of the Caverns of Chaos, where Socratron hits the mic and delivers the longest monologue in the history of game monologues, filled with instructions and assignments and warnings. Async never hears Socratron's task for her. She sags against the sofa as he talks. Her eyes suddenly heavy. The controller slips from her fingers. She tips her head back on a cushion, just for a second. As the rest of the team swarms into the cave, Async's sprite remains on the threshold and begins a series of idle animations, hefting its axe restlessly, shifting its weight from one foot to another. Another player, from a competing clan, sidles up to her and slips a blade into her from behind, then performs an enthusiastic dab and dashes into the cave. Async 04's silken cloud sprite crumples to the ground and twitches. Dispatches from Earth, Part 2. Usually, this time of morning, the old man can be found at his workbench, smoothing the blades of new scissors against a damp stone, or running their blades beneath the high-speed grinder wheel. He is always at the shop before anyone else, stoking the furnace so it's hot when the others arrive. But on this day, the furnace is black and cold. The workbench and its tools are unattended. Where's Mr. Fitzgerald? What? Where's Mr. Yeah, it's Fitzgerald, guys. It's Fitzgerald. I say that like you can see what I'm reading. You can't. The other workers ask one another. The questions are easygoing at first, but as the day brightens and the furnace is still cold, the questions take on an edge. The scissor-making company has, for nearly 130 years, been making scissors in the old way. The scissors are beloved by the tradespeople and makers around the world. A pair of them, cared for like a child, might last a lifetime. Eugene? I don't know how to say that name. Fitzgerald, the 93-year-old master craftsman, is the only remaining worker who knows every step of the process. It's all in his head, the workers sometimes said to one another. If he ever kicks the bucket, we best look for new work. Declan Doherty III, Jesus Christ, that's a long name, whose father owned the scissors factory before him, and whose father owned it before him, telephones Eugen's home. But Eugen, who's mostly deaf these days, does not like to wear his hearing aid. He probably doesn't hear the phone, Declan, who was up all night with a colicky new baby, says to Liam McKenna. Oh my god, hold on, no. I just realized something while I was reading that. Did he put the baby to sleep? Oh my god. That's so sad. Oh, fuck. Says to Liam McKenna, go to the old fellow's house and see what's what, would you? So, Liam McKenna, who was up all night laboring over his thesis, he doesn't intend to grind scissor blades forever. He's going to be a forensic pathologist someday. Drives to Eugen's cottage down by the coast. As Liam gets out of his pickup truck, he pauses and takes in the sound of clanging bells from the nearby harbor. Breeze and the briny air. He understands why Mr. Fitzgerald chooses to live here, in a crummy cottage surrounded by shipping warehouses. On a foggy morning like this one, it's possible to imagine the cottage on a bluff overlooking the sea. Eugen's windows are dark when Liam raps on the door as loudly as he dares. Mr. Fitzgerald, he calls out, then more loudly, Mr. Fitzgerald, are you in there? When no answers come, Liam goes from window to window, goes from window to window, cupping his hands and peering into the charcoal shadows inside. The kitchen is cold and still. No coffee in the pot. The small living room's wood stove holds a residual but dwindling glow. The next window is a bathroom, which means the next is the bedroom, and there, Liam sees, is Mr. Fitzgerald lying still and strangely small in his bed, hands folded over his chest as if already laid to rest. Dispatches from Earth, Part 3. Yo, Holmes, you drive, Connor says, tossing Gus the keys to his Geo Metro. I don't drive well under pressure. Jack, Gus says, with a sigh. He walks 10 feet to where the keys have landed on the lawn, then picks them up. Did you ever see Out of Sight? He asked Connor. That's the one with Stifler and Kelso looking for their car, right? Connor says. Gus blinks. No, man, that's Dude. Where's my car? The fuck did you smoke in there? He shakes his head, then climbs behind the wheel. No, this is the Soderbergh movie. Based on the, I feel like I don't know any of the films they've been talking about in this, hardly. Based on an Elmore Leonard novel. Jesus, I can't read. Real pedigree. Dude, where's my... Shit, I'm ashamed to know you. Just drive, okay? Connor says, twitching with adrenaline. Before I go back inside and murk the fucking rent-a-cop. Gus turns sideways in a seat. Patiently, he says, in Out of Sight, which is a sophisticated story about two people who can't fall in love, who do fall in love, there's a scene where Buddy, played by Ving Rhames, tosses car keys to Jack, played by George Clooney. But Foley's all amped up about this woman, Karen, played by Jennifer Lopez, and he doesn't... Fucking Mr. IMDb over here, Connor interrupts. I need you to be Mr. fucking Uber driver now. You capiche? I feel like I read that so weird. But Gus won't be derailed. And he doesn't see the key toss. The keys go right out the apartment window. Foley doesn't even notice, but Buddy's like, Jack. He chuckles to himself. That's what I said when you threw the keys. Jack. Motherfucker, they're calling the police. Move your ass. And where am I driving us this delightful morn? Like I give a fuck, Connor says. Somewhere the cops won't expect. Your destination, a non-extradition treaty country. You will each be paid a fee of $1 million for services rendered. But you can never again set foot on your native soil. Can you live with that? Gus nods his head, satisfied. That's General Hummel, played by the excellent Ed Harris from The Rock. I'm gonna rock you if you don't drive. Gus pulls away from the curb, then points the car east. He weaves through the neighborhood, then onto Marsh, while Connor slumps in his seat, muttering, That fucking guy, Connor complains. He wrecked my sweater, you know. I see that guy again, I'm gonna... He trails off, realizing the car is carving through the near darkness. He turns around, sees the light of Santa Mira receding, and says, Gus, where the fuck are we going? Gus points at a green highway sign. You told me to go somewhere the cops won't expect. Connor turns and watches the sign go by. Vegas? Vegas? It isn't exactly a non-extradition treaty country, but a man can get real lost there. Fucking Vegas, Connor says. He yawns, then folds his arms. I can feel myself coming down, man. I don't think I've ever felt this tired. I don't ever remember feeling this awake, Gus says. Good thing you're driving. Connor burrows down into the passenger seat, knees buckled against the glove box, and says, Wake me when we get there, yo. I don't ever remember feeling this awake, Gus repeats mostly to himself. That was Thelma, played by the extremely tall Gina Davis from Thelma and Louise. Is it Thelma and Louise or Thelma and Louise? It's one of them. Gus pushes the Geo into the dawn. California hills turning into the high desert scrub. Stars fading out in a wash of smudged sunrise. He switches the radio to a classic country station, then hums along with Willie and Merle, singing about Pancho dying somewhere in Mexico. Connor dies just before the car crosses the state line into Nevada. Is this whole like section just gonna be like for watching everyday people just fucking die in their sleep, because if that's how it's gonna be, I'm gonna be really upset. Um, Dispatches from Earth, Part 4. The Alcan Highway is nearly 1,400 miles long, starting in Dawson Creek, British Columbia, and terminating in Delta Junction, Alaska. It's a beautiful scenic route through the depths of the Canadian wilderness. At any moment along the way, a driver can witness a family of bears crossing the road, or a moose bathing itself in a northern lake, or, under cover of darkness, watch the aurora twist and spark overhead. The highway is Amelia's regular route, and has been for 31 years. She owns her rig, a bright blue Freightliner with a pair of fake ox horns protruding from the grill. She named it Babe, after Paul Bunyan's famous ox. She's a veteran of the northern shipping routes, gets first choice of load at the warehouses, has tackled every possible emergency here in the middle of nowhere. Blown tires, lost wheels, a shattered windscreen, a thrown rod. Once, in near whiteout conditions, she struck something and found blood scattered on the snow. Whatever it was had limped away before she could climb down from Babe's wheel. But when she tells the story at truck stops, she says it had two legs. It was easily 8 feet tall. Over the years, though, the route has changed. The long, pitted gravelly or dirt sections of the highway are now smooth asphalt or concrete. The most twisted stretches have been straightened. It's a safer drive now, and her hazard pay disappeared long ago as a result. She's still done well enough, all things considered. Well, enough that she's given some thought to retirement in the next few years. The most important thing to remember about your company-sponsored 401k is this. If you're not contributing the maximum allowable amount with every paycheck, you're actively plotting against your own future. Amelia nods at the sound advice of Gary Banner. Fight for Financial Success is her new favorite podcast. Amen, she says, and then switches the radio off. She downshifts and coasts into the trucker lot of God's Country 24-hour trucker heaven. With a sigh, she pulls the brake and kills the big engine. She knows all the truck stops by heart, even plans her daily drive target around which one she can reach by what time. God's Country is her least favorite of them. Look, it's mighty Melia, Werkel calls when Amelia pushes through the truck stop door at 6 a.m. Melia, we haven't seen you around here since... I was here 6 weeks ago, Amelia says. Well, since 6 weeks then, Werkel corrects, grinning through his beaver tail-sized beard. I was on my vacation, right? I was on my vacation right about then, so's I would have missed you. That's too bad, Amelia turns away, headed for the showers, hoping to cut the conversation short. Sorry, Amelia, showers are out today, Werkel calls after her. They found sulfur leaking into the water pipes and have to fit them all. Well, how long's that going to take? Amelia asks, frowning. Oh, I don't know. Billy got an estimate, but she hasn't got 'em started yet. Between you and me and these four walls, Rogel gestures at the otherwise empty truck stop, I'm almost certain she's hard up. The oil prices, you know. Heck, I might have to find a new gig. God's Country might not be here next time you swing through. That would not be ideal, Amelia thinks. Oh my god. She never plans to overnight at this old truck stop. She never plans to overnight. Oh my god, why the fuck am I struggling? She never plans to overnight at this old truck stop. Partly because Werkel, partly because Werkel, a mistake she had made 16 years ago, is still here. What? I thought she was saying that was her kid. I had to reread that for a minute. But mostly because the bunkhouse is poorly outfitted. A terrible place to spend a night. Still, the showers have always been above average. If God's Country shuts down, she'll have a 300-mile stretch of the highway with no available services. Ain't asked about my vacation, Merkel says when Amelia arrives at the checkout counter with an armful of chickpea crisp and a bottle of kombucha. Maybe that's reason enough not to tell me about it, Werkel. She nods behind the counter. Throw in a pack of strikes, would you? I thought you quit. I still like to look at them. She levels her gaze at Werkel, who nods and says nothing further about the cigarettes. Listen, Werkel says, ringing up the snacks. You been watching the reports? There's a storm about 60 miles north. They're half expecting it to switch directions and blow right through here in the next hour. All the more reason for me to get moving. You done here? Werkel lays his hand on Amelia's. She snatches it away. Workle, she warns. I'm just attempting to tell you. It's gonna be bad out there, Workle says. Don't you worry your sweetheart about intentions, he grins proudly. Met myself a girl on my getaway. I wish you two all the best, Amelia says, holding back a sigh. Yes'm? I spent 4 days at Lake Henters, Merkel says, searching the kombucha bottle for a UPC label. You know, you squint, just right. It's almost like being in Jamaica or something. I'll bet. Amelia takes the bottle and rotates it, pointing the UPC at Merkel. Girl I met. You know her name's almost like yours? One of Amelia's eyebrows rises on its own. Oh my god. Amelin? Merkel says. Even prettier, ain't it? Ring me up, you old goat, Amelia says. You want me to live through that storm, you ought to let me skedaddle. Oh my gosh. My eyes keep crossing with all, like, because, like, the way the dialogue is written is very, like it's written in an accent. And I kind of hate when authors do that because it fucks up my reading so bad. My eyes keep crossing. With a lovesick grin, Merkel bags her items, then sends her on her way. Unshowered and unhappy about it, Amelia hoists herself back into Babe's big seat, fires up the engine, and slowly guides the rig onto the road. If Urkel's right, and she's got a storm to think about, she's glad her load's a light one. There's nothing but pallets of toilet paper in the trailer this time. She makes better time that way. Urkel's right. The storm sweeps across the highway long before she reaches Watson Lake, and it's a startlingly bad one. Her visibility dwindles until she's creeping down the highway at 15 miles per hour. God damn you, Werkel, she mutters, as if her regrettable old one-night stand had somehow conjured a storm specifically for her. She guides Babe onto the wide shoulder, sets the flashers, kills the engine, and fires up the little generator that'll keep her cabin warm without wasting fuel. Behind her front seat is a narrow living space. She unlatches the fold-out bed, props up some pillows, and reclines with her all-in-one TV-DVD unit. There's no TV signal this far out, but she's got a collection of Northern Exposure reruns. Outside the truck, the storm deepens, buffeting the trailer with heavy winds. Snow layers on the windscreen, piles on top of the cab. Amelia pulls a blanket around herself and munches chickpea crisps. She likes this episode. Joel, the doctor at the center of the show, gets stranded in the woods at night. A mysterious figure comes out of the trees and beckons Joel to follow. Against his better judgment, Joel does, and finds that the stranger, Adam, is the person the whole town suspects of being Bigfoot. Instead, Adam turns out to be one hell of a chef and makes Joel a spectacular meal. Told you all Bigfoot was real, Amelia says. And as the storm builds, piling snow around her rig, she burrows deeper into her blankets and drifts to sleep in the blue light of the television. I literally think this whole section is just us reading about people dying in their sleep. I feel like it's sad. Oh my gosh, it's literally just people dying in their sleep. Oh no. Okay. Dispatches from Earth, Part 5. The day of the oh my god, no, this is gonna be a sad one. The day of the wedding, Narissa felt like an author with her first book, hoping someone, anyone, would show up at her reading. You've sent the invitations, Jake had assured her, and the people who love you will want to be there for you. I don't have anyone anymore. I literally fossil. Oh my god. I don't have anyone anymore, she had told him, and burst into tears. It was true. Most of her family was gone, except for an aunt in... What the fuck is that? Where the fuck is that? Keepsy? Keepsy? I don't fucking know that place. And a third cousin in Mobile. But people had shown up. Not hundreds, but nearly 70. And they weren't all Jake's family members or friends either. Jake had, in secret, somehow tracked down Narissa's middle school best friend, Ray, whom she hadn't seen in nearly 10 years, and a few of her college roommates, who brought other older friends along with them. Narissa cried through the whole ceremony. When the last of her friends had passed through the receiving line, she turned to Jake, bit his earlobe, and whispered, and whispered, "Just you wait for tonight," in her sultriest voice. Jake grinned. Oh my god, they're so in love. They just got married and they're gonna fucking die! Oh, sorry. Jake grinned, then whispered back, "That's not why I did it, you know." And she did. "I do know that." And snaked her hand behind him and squeezed his butt stealthily. Oh. Sorry. Oh my gosh, it's getting late, guys. Sorry. The reception couldn't move fast enough for Narissa. Yes, yes. Chicken or fish? Okay. What? Whatever. There was no father-daughter dance, just her dance with Jake. He chuckled at her as she practically quivered with annoyance at all these formalities. Patience, honey, he advised, and drew her close to him, swaying softly. You're going to want to remember all this. When at last the reception ends, and she's waved farewell to all those long-lost friends, she and Jake rest in the back of a taxi, weary, as it drives them to a bed and breakfast on the edge of town. Tomorrow we have to get up early. Sorry. He reminds her, patting her hand where it rests on his knee. Don't forget, we have a 6:30 flight. To Honolulu, she says, a dreamy tinge in her voice. And then Kauai? Kauai, she muses, the garden island. With chickens. With what? As the taxi arrives at the B&B, Jake tells her the story of the island's wild chicken population. There's a rumor that the chickens escaped from coops during a storm, he says, hefting bags from the trunk, and that they fled into the jungles, where they've grown their numbers unchecked by predators. Jungle, Narissa says. Not forest? Huh. Jake shakes his head. Not being a, plant person, I don't actually know. Let's say jungle. Forest sounds ordinary. Jungle it is. I'll message the Hawaiian premier and tell them. The premier, huh? Or whatever they have. They have a governor, just like we do, Narissa says, laughing. Jake's eyes are red when he grins. I'm pretty damn tired, and we have to get up in like 4 hours. Narissa rises onto her toes and nips at his neck with her teeth. Don't be that tired, she says. It's our wedding night. I know, he pecks her forehead. But it's also just another night, and I don't know if I'd be saying that to my spouse on the wedding. Like, okay, it's not just another night. You just got fucking married, but all right. Sorry, I'm ranting. And if we don't get any sleep, every night in Hawaii is going to feel like tonight. Turned on, bone tired. He corrects. When her face falls, he says, "I'm not saying no, honey. I'm saying I'm tired. That's all." They check in at the front desk silently, enduring the chirping of the owner, who leads them up a flight of stairs to their floral-printed room. The owner points out every amenity until Jake interrupts and reminds her they're leaving in 4 hours. In 4 hours and just need some sleep. Narissa pouts while Jake busies himself in the restroom. This won't be their first time, obviously. They lived together for 3 months already. Only 3 months? Oh, I mean, I guess some people move fast in their relationships. Damn, only like 3 months and then they got married? How long have they been together? Sorry, nah. I don't need to get that involved. They're gonna die soon anyway. Oh fuck, that's so dark. Oh my god. But it's the principle of the thing. It's the wedding night. He's supposed to turn into an animal, isn't he? He didn't even carry over the threshold. The sink burbles behind the bathroom door, and then she hears him brushing his teeth. Why aren't they brushing side by side, looking at each other with drunk eyes, still clad in the disheveled wedding attire? Why isn't he abandoning all usual protocol to take her, right here on this overly flowery bedspread? Fuck, she mutters, and falls back onto the pillows. She's as angry at herself as him right now. She knows she's fallen prey to all the stereotypes of a wedding night. She knows that it takes all kinds of people to make a world, and that more people than just her must have spent their wedding night too exhausted to, consummate their passion or whatever. But in her imagination, every other couple who ever got married busted down their bedroom door in a frenzy, in their mad rush for the bed in a night of flung sweat and blown joy. Why not her? She's so frustrated she hardly notices her muscles relaxing in the embrace of the bed. Doesn't notice at all that her body and mind are as tuckered out as Jake's. Isn't even aware that her eyes are closing until they're closed. She doesn't hear the bathroom door open. Doesn't register Jake's words as he apologizes and crawls onto the bed beside her. Doesn't notice when his voice cracks and rises. When he shakes her. When he cries for help. Oh my god! Ooh, that's so sad. What the fuck? I mean, I knew one of them was gonna die, or both of them, because that's what this whole fucking section's about, is people fucking dying in their sleep. But like, damn, they really had to go after the married couple. And don't think I forgot about the fact that one dude, the scissor making apprentice or whatnot, had put his kid to sleep, thinking, oh, the kid's gonna get up in a couple hours. Oh, the fucking baby's dead. What the Fuck. Okay. Anyway, on to the next section. But basically, yeah, that's what the whole previous section was. The dispatchers from Earth or whatnot. We basically, I guess, got a glimpse of like not just our main characters, but like a bunch of different people living different lives, just dying in their sleep. Basically, is what that whole fucking section was about. All right, on to the next one. All right, the Black Triangle, Part 1. Tracy tugs the wheel, guiding the Ford Escort to the shoulder. With a sigh, she flaps open a paper map, inspects it closely, then crumples it again and squints at the light dappled street, searching for a sign. While she drives to make sense of the unfamiliar scene, Davy unbuckles his seatbelt and slides forward. He switches on the radio and presses the button that finds music for him. Coming in this week at number 20 on the Hot 100 from Minnesota rockers Soul Asylum is Misery, their first new single in 2 years. Turn it up. Turn it off, Tracy admonishes? Yes. I can't think. She pinches the bridge of her nose, then sighs again deeply. Honey, help Mommy out here. Do you see a sign for Flora Lane? Then she stops, covers her face with both hands, and begins to laugh. What's funny? Davy asks. Well, look, she says and points. The car is parked next to a woodcut business sign painted in brassy golds and greens. Ponderosa Institute of Neuropsychology. Dr. Almer Costenda, what? Oh, Dr. Almer Costenda, Dr. Georgia Roslavic, since 1983. It doesn't say Flora, Davy says. What's neuroops? What's that word? The Black Triangle, Part 2. Dave sits in a brightly colored beanbag chair, at a table just his height, contemplating the assortment of art supplies before him. This corner is the only colorful spot in the room. The rest of Dr. Costenda's study is paneled in somber mahogany, the ceiling a dull mustard, ribbed with exposed beams. Tracy pulls her sweater more tightly around her. It's drafty in here, Dr. Costenda apologizes. You know, I've considered trading offices with Georgia. Her office is practically a greenhouse. She's more accustomed to cooler climes. It's all right. Tracy shivers and shifts uncomfortably, uncertain if it's the temperature that's made her chilled, or just the fact that she's here, making Davy's condition real by meeting with this stranger. You feel as if by coming here you've transformed a small concern into a grave one, the doctor observes. I suppose that's true. These issues feel unbearably large, and society conditions us to face them on our own, the doctor says. He smiles, baring slightly too large, crooked white teeth. You've taken a brave step. Just talking about these things can scale them to something addressable, treatable, solvable. Sometimes I think it's my fault, Tracy says, as if given permission to spill her fears. His dreams. That's something I did, before he was born, caused all of this. Why do you say that? He's never slept through the night. Not a single night. Not ever. You might be exhausted, Tracy. My husband sleeps fine. She tries to smother a bitter laugh. Davy piles up drawings after drawing, absently humming the opening bars of the song he all too briefly heard on the radio. The first act of self-harm, Dr. Costenda says. When did you notice? God, it's hard even to say. It's like the nightmares. He's always... Bruises? Yes, and scratches. For a while... She lowers her voice, leaning toward the doctor, who mirrors her posture. For a while it was spiders. He dreamed they were crawling on him. I'd turn on a light when he screamed, and then I'd scream, because he'd have scratched his face to bleeding. She dips her head shamefully. Even now I see the faint scars and feel like a failed mother. It didn't stop there, though, Dr. Costenda prompts, when Tracy looks away. He says, and how about the medication? What have we tried? I have it written down, Tracy says. She fumbles a folded sheet of paper from her purse and passes it to the doctor. That's everything, I think. Dr. Costenda peers at her handwriting over his glasses. This is quite a list, Miss Torres. Davy's unique. Nobody knows what to do about, well... And how closely has his receptiveness to the medications been monitored? Did he demonstrate improvement with any of these? Dr. Costenda lightly shakes the list. We're here, aren't we? Tracy puts a hand to her mouth. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to... It's quite all right, Tracy. It's all right. The Black Triangle, Part 3. After a short break and a tour of the house, Davy's favorite is the koi pond in the courtyard. Dr. Costinda asked Tracy if any diagnosis was proffered. Nothing concrete, she says, her eyes reflecting a lifetime of lost sleep. I mean, of course, exhaustion. Some nights he sleeps fewer than 2 hours. That accumulates. The doctors tell me mostly that this can't continue, that it's bound to lead to developmental problems. How unhelpful, Dr. Costanda says, so tenderly that Tracy nearly collapsed from gratitude. Chronic night terrors are exceedingly rare, particularly when they persist this long. In the history of my field, there are fewer than 10 recorded cases. The most recent, 30 years ago, was a boy in Russia. In fact, my colleague Georgia was a student at the medical university where the boy was studied. She was so intrigued by his condition that she switched her major. Dr. Stenda leans close to Tracy and confides, I confess, a small amount of professional envy that she witnessed this case directly. What a gift. He halts abruptly as if realizing he has misspoken. Forgive me. I mean to say Davy is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of child. He's exceedingly special. I'm getting real vibes from this guy. We would like to better understand and help him. Back in the study, Davy returns to his art projects, while Dr. Costenda spreads Davy's earlier drawings on the coffee table. A child experiencing what your son does, he begins, will often directly express their fears in art, an unconscious attempt to remove the threat from their mind and commit it to paper, where it can be easily dealt with. A sort of childlike exorcism. You can burn a drawing, crumple it, cut it to ribbons. That's the root of the work Davy is doing here. And make no mistake, this is difficult work. He's purging, de-escalating that which scares him. Dr. Costenda holds up the first sheet, the most unusual of all the pictures Davy created. The most unusual of all the pictures Davy created. The page is blackened except for an array of white chiclets at the top and bottom, a scribble of red in the center. Here he has opened himself for us, the doctor says. He has drawn his emotional response to his dreams. What do you see in this drawing, Miss Torres? Tracy shakes her head. He's done this one before. I don't know what it is. An angry sun? Dr. Costanda holds the drawing next to his face, then opens his own mouth as wide as he can. A mouth, she asks? A scream, my dear. I already know he's scared. The drawings make me sad, but they don't tell me anything I don't already know. On the contrary, if I may, this drawing is existential. There is nothing on this page except the scream. Without knowing why, your son is telling you that his entire existence, all that he is the single emotion, abject fear. Dr. Stenda puts the drawing aside, then shuffles the remaining illustrations into two piles. Your son appears to have two recurring dreams, he says. They don't seem to overlap. The subject of one never appears in the other. The doctor holds up a crude drawing of an elephant. Its eyes are black and soulless, its tusks stained red. This interesting creature appears in all these drawings, he says, indicating the first pile. He holds up the drawing from the second pile. And these figures here. Tracy touches the shadowy characters her son has drawn. Yes, she says, he gave them a name. He calls them dreamers, dream people. Dr. Costanda puts the drawings down and stands with a grunt. Let me show you something. Tracy follows him to the other side of the room, to an unmarked door. She looks back at Davy, still drawing. Davy will be fine, and will be just in here, I assure you. The room beyond the door contains a few desks, computers, some unusual monitoring equipment. It looks like a room for measuring earthquakes or something, she says. The doctor touches a switch, illuminating another room on the other side of the glass wall. At its center is a silvery structure, almost sarcophagus-shaped. That is the scariest bed I've ever seen, Tracy says. That is a bed, right? A bundle of cords with suction cup ties lie on the bed next to another machine with what looks like a blood pressure cuff. There are more immediately familiar machines, heart monitors, and the like. Tracy looks from the bed to the seismograph-looking machines on the desk around her. Doctor, she says slowly, what kind of treatment do you do here exactly? Yo, this man's fucking weird. He's gonna do some weird experiments and shit. Is he a dreamer? Is he one of the dream people that Davy's drawing? I don't know. We're gonna find out. The Black Triangle, Part 4. Katie's rusted hatchback is parked beside Mateo's Camaro in the ER intake lane. No sense in keeping the lane free for ambulances. Dave had explained to her. There weren't any ambulances. Not anymore. Mateo and Linda wait for them on the sidewalk. This is her, Linda asks. Linda, Katie, Davy says. Katie, this is Linda. You're the radio lady, Katie says. How'd I do? 9 years of medical school, also I can operate a microphone. Mateo harumps at this, and Linda pats his shoulder. To the others, she explains, he's a little crush. His hero didn't make it. Hero? Dave asks. Oh, Larry. Late night Larry, Mateo corrects. You must be, some kind of girl, Linda says to Katie. She thumbs in Dave's direction. This one, he didn't even tell us where he was going, just took off like a second-string superhero. I don't know. Wipe your mouth, honey, Linda says, indicating the corner of her mouth. You okay? Katie rubs her sleeve over her mouth self-consciously. She, took pills, Dave says. We had to... Good move, Linda sighs. She turns and looks at the lobby through the glass door. You know how much I really don't want to go back in there? Dave told me what's in there, Katie says. We could stay out here. Except people might come, Mateo says. There's more than one way into the hospital, Linda says. If we stay out here, we could miss them. She yawns, then leans against the building. God, maybe I should have just gone to sleep. Don't say that, Dave says. We need you. Have you ever heard of anything like this? Katie asks. I mean, a virus that kills people when they sleep. It sounds super X-Files to me. It's legit, Mateo says, fighting his own yawn. And fucking scary. But how long can a person stay awake? Katie asks. I mean, I did a few all-nighters in college, but not back to back. To back to back? Mateo echoes. Look, everyone is... Ooh, sorry. Look, everyone is different, Linda explains. Human bodies have limits. But yours might be more forgiving than mine, but not by much. Maybe a day in either direction. 2 if someone's lucky. So, we're dead in 2 days, Katie asks, her voice rising nervously. Dave, who had been quietly listening to this, says, Trust me, you don't want to go past 48 hours. He meets the eyes of each in turn. That's the line. Things start unraveling. The longer you're awake, the bigger your psychological tapas menu grows. Paranoia, depression, schizophrenia, hallucinations, awful thoughts, the kind of thing that unhinge you. Katie covers her ears. At 72 hours, well, let's just say you really miss how good things felt at 48. Nice sales pitch, Don Draper, Linda says. But yeah, he's not wrong. We have to be each other's safety net. We have to keep a close eye on the person next to us. If we nod off, even for a moment, I mean, that's the ball game, people. What if I start to... Katie begins. Linda takes Katie's hand in her own. Cup your palm, like this, not too deep. She raises Katie's hand and places it against her own cheek. You want to hit more with the finger than the palm, see? That'll give you a really sharp crack you want from a good slap. The startling kind. Oh, that's actually a good idea. That's a good tip. To keep yourself awake. Oh, I should try that. No, just kidding. I'm lying. All right, going on. Katie withdraws her hand. I couldn't hit anyone. Should have brought the bat, Dave says, grinning kindly. Turns out my girl's a real basher. We're well past gestures of kindness, Linda says, ignoring Dave. Think of sleep like the creep at the party who's about to roofie your best friend. Go in hard. Rescue your friend. What is with all the shit analogies here? Mateo protests. You fuckers are dark. So, what did you take, honey? Linda asks. It's not in her system anymore, Dave shrugs. Doesn't matter. Dude, what about you? Mateo asks. Dave silences Mateo with a look. I'm fine. Tired, but who isn't? Linda glances at Mateo. And you, soldier? Oh, fuck off. I'm not the weak link. Linda doesn't take the bait. Instead, she pats Katie's hand. And you, dear? I worked all night, she says. I'm pretty tired. Then she looks at each one of them. But I guess that's true of all of us, huh? You went to the party, Mateo says. The dipshits said they saw... She wasn't musing, Dave says. I was with Janine and Steph, Katie shrugs. I thought it was going to be fun. I ended up chauffeuring them to 2 bars, then the party, okay? Steph had like 4 double margaritas at Dos Muchachos, then tried to blow the bartender in the supply closet. Not exactly a night to remember. She covers her mouth suddenly. Oh God, are they both... Dave opens his arm and Katie steps into them. Shush, he says. If they aren't, we'll find them. All right, focus up, everyone, Linda says. We need to conserve our energy. We're gonna need this. She steps in front of the ER doors, which hiss open. Let's go inside and see about expanding our ring, shall we? The Black Triangle, Part 5. The waiting room is as empty as they left it. Linda frowns at this, then suggests they split up. Mateo heads for the admissions lobby in the main building, while Linda pushes deeper into the ER corridors. Dave takes Katie's hand and they climb the stairs to the next floor, which fractures into several different patient wings. Below, Dave can hear Mateo's voice echo through big, empty rooms. I think we're too late, he says. Nobody's going to be here. Have hope, Katie says, but her voice is tight. At the first junction, Dave pauses. Where do we even start? Katie reads the signs. Radiology to the west, intensive care to the east, oncology to the north. She pulls Dave forward to the cancer wing. We'll check them all, but we have to start somewhere, she says. Besides, my mom is here, remember? I still sort of remember the layout. You're the boss, Dave says. They pass a nursing station, a janitor's closet, a locked pharmacy, and several empty patient rooms before they encountered their first body. It belongs to a woman younger than Katie. Most of her hair is gone. Her skin has molded itself to the skeleton beneath. Her eyes are closed, set deeply into hollow sockets. Her skin is sallow and bruised. Despite her condition, she looks peaceful. Oh God, Katie moans. Dave realizes it's her first dead body. Trust me, he says, touching her shoulder. I think for her this was a mercy. But Katie isn't looking at the girl. She's gazing at a small sofa near the bed. There's a young man there, wearing a wedding ring. He's stretched out on the couch. A pillow under his head, snuggled against him is a small boy, 3 years old at most. They're both gone. Okay, this is a bad idea, Dave says. Let me take you back to... It isn't right, she says. It isn't fair. It's not fair. Dave steers her back into the hallway. You can sit at the nurse's station while I check the rest of the rooms. Fuck that, she says through clenched teeth. I want to hit something. God, that poor family. Everything they had to deal with, and then... Her hands ball into fists so tight the color drains from her knuckles. God is a fucking sadist. I really think... Dave starts, but Katie abruptly tenses. Do you hear that? Shush, listen. Dave is quiet for a moment. I don't hear... There! Katie says. Shut up. Listen for... It's faint. It's far away. But it's there. Hello? Is somebody there? The Black Triangle, Part 6. The woman in room 217, despite being hollowed out by some cancer or another, brims with spite and vinegar. The hell have you people been? She bellows when Dave and Katie appear in her doorway. I've been shouting so long I'm going to lose my voice. She levels severe eyes at them both. You aren't in scrubs. I worked the children's wing for this hospital 29 years, and I never once showed up out of uniform. Dave looks down at his watchman's uniform and fiddles with the name tag. I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm Mrs. Nelson? Katie asks, incredulous. Ruth? The patient narrows her eyes. Who's that, then? Katie crosses the room to the woman's bed. She hands her a pair of glasses from the bedside table. The woman adjusts the glasses with hands bruised from IV needles and inspects Katie closely. Her eyes brighten. Goodness, Katie, when did you become a nurse, hun? Katie throws her arms around the woman's neck and, without meaning to, begins to cry. Oh, dear, Ruth Nelson strokes Katie's hair, her demeanor entirely changed. Dear, it's okay. When Katie has collected herself, Ruth says, I should be the one crying. Look at me. Katie laughs and wipes her eyes. So you two know each other? Dave asks, stepping into the room. Ruth smiles, reveals 2 white dentures. Katie is a living angel, but perhaps you know that already. Ruth's daughter is in my group, Katie tells Dave. Lily. You've got to show up for your kids, that's what I say, even when they're middle-aged, even when they're walking disasters, Ruth says ruefully. Now, where are my usual nurses? I've called for Caroline and Avid all night, but nobody comes. Katie looks helplessly at Dave. Sit tight, Miss Nelson. I'm going to get someone who can help. The Black Triangle, Part 7. Dave intercepts Linda in the hallway. Hey. Totally empty, Linda says, the disappointment evident in her eyes. Nobody heard the radio broadcast. Nobody came. Where's Mateo? Searching the parking structure just in case. Linda looks past Dave, toward room 217. You found a living person, though. I can't believe... About that, Dave interrupts. We might have a bit of a problem there. As if on cue, Ruth Nelson cries out from her bed. Dave can hear Katie attempt to calm her. If she's in a bed, Ruth says, she might be too far. She's full of beans, as my grandma would have said. But Dave shakes his head. I don't think she's going anyplace. She doesn't look like she's going to keel over, but I peeked at her chart. Stage? 4. 4 is really bad, right? Linda nods solemnly. Does she know? That she has cancer? Yeah. I think she knows. Idiot, does she know what's happening? Oh, right. You didn't tell her, did you? I wouldn't know where to begin, Dave admits. Good. Well, let's meet our survivor, huh? Dave pops into the room again. Good news, Miss Nelson. I found... Linda leans in with a wave. Hi, You aren't Caroline, or Avid, or Gretchen, or Kishan? Kishan? Ruth says, displeased. Are my nurses on, are my nurses all on a 4-hour smoke break? Ruth, Katie begins, but Linda flutters her fingers as if to say, I've got this. You're feeling well, I take it, Linda says cheerfully. She picks up Ruth's charts and flips pages. Let me get up to speed here. No, thank you, Ruth says. No speed for me. Had a bad trip in 1984, you know. She waits for a reaction, and when none comes, protests. Hey, I thought that was pretty good. Come on now. He got me, Linda says, deep in the weeds of Ruth's medical history. Okay. She replaces the chart, then touches Ruth's foot with a blanket. Tell me how you're feeling. Scale of... I know the goddamn scale, Ruth interrupts. The scale's in my rear view. What's your name? Linda, Dave says. She can speak for herself, I think, young man. Linda says. You don't look like one of those nursing students I keep getting. She works in the ER, Dave points out. He flinches as Linda shoots daggers his way. Emergency? Ruth's eyes fly wide. Oh, Jesus! Now, Miss Nelson, Linda cautions, but this time Katie butts in. What kind of cancer is it? She asks. Before Linda can answer, Ruth moans, Lymphoma, hun, in my spine. What does it feel like? Katie asks, holding the woman's hand. Do you hurt? It's like being fed into a garbage disposal, Ruth says, grimacing. Slowly. To Linda, Ruth says, I can't sleep without my codeine. Usually Kishan's here with it by now, but it's been hours. She lets her head fall against the pillow, exhausted from the conversation. The codeine churns the garbage disposal off. Well, it's not time for sleep, Linda says. Not quite yet, but I think we can do something for the pain. Dave, Katie, I could use your help outside. Ruth groans again. Come back fast. We won't be long, Katie assures her. She pats the woman's hand, then switches on the television. Take your mind off things. Channel 17, Ruth says. Maybe Peter Falk can keep me company. Katie switches to 17, then leaves the woman with a Columbo rerun. The Black Triangle, Part 8. Pharmacy, Linda says to them in the hallway. Quickly, now. They jog softly down the hall. I saw a pharma supply room, Dave offers, just up there. That's overflow and backstock, Linda says, not the good stuff. She leads them down a flight of stairs and into the lobby. We want the good stuff. Mateo bursts through the door marked parking garage and spots them. Dead, he says, breathing hard. You didn't find anyone? Katie asks. No, I found plenty of people. Mateo holds his side. His face is drained of color. We found someone alive, Dave says. Well, Katie did. Well, good, because I think we could use another pair of hands, Mateo says. He notices the shift in Dave's expression. What? The Black Triangle, Part 9. In the hospital's primary pharmacy, Linda paused through shelf after shelf of drugs. Staff probably forgot her when they cleared out, she says. Fucking Gordon. Fucking MCI. Katie looks confused. Who's Gordon? Who is MCI? Mass casualty incident, Linda says. Gordon's the doctor in charge. Was. Mass casualty, Katie says. Wait, mass? Usually we use it for things like earthquakes, fires, crowd surges at a big show, things like that. Linda pauses, inspects a large blue bottle. But there's no acronym big enough for this. What's the bottle? Mateo asks. Linda tosses it over her shoulder. Modafinilist. I don't know if I said that. Modafinilist. Mateo catches it. The stem. You'll never yawn again, Dave sings. Once you get your second wind. No jingles, Linda says. How bad is she? Really? Katie asks Linda. It's pressing on her spinal cord, Linda says. Immensely painful. They've got her on a codeine cocktail for sleep, but we can't give her that. Not if we want her to live. You think it's still happening? Katie asks. It already happened. Everyone's dead. We don't know what we're dealing with, Dave says. Maybe it's over. Maybe we won't know for sure until someone falls asleep. And we see if they wake up again, Mateo finishes. Hence the modafinilist, Linda says. But stems are speed, Katie argues. She said she had a bad reaction to speed. Well, I'm pretty sure that was an old person trying to make a joke, Linda says. So we won't tell her it's speed, okay? That's unethical, Katie says. You can't do that. Fuck ethical. There's no such thing anymore. Mateo shakes the bottle. Pilots used to take this shit before missions. Linda takes the bottle back and pops the lid. It's a stimulant. She agrees. It's like a dozen cups of coffee. It won't kill you or anyone else. She shakes several pills into her palm. Before we go any further, I think we all need to get in sync. I'm in recovery, Katie says. I can't take anything that isn't prescribed by a medical professional. I'm a medical professional. You're prescribed. Take one. Dave holds up one of the oblong blue capsules. You'll feel like a winner, he sings and stops. Down the hatch, then. He takes his pill. Cheers, Mateo says and takes his. Reluctantly, Katie takes hers. Linda takes two. I can stay with her, Katie says. Miss Nelson, I can keep her awake. We don't have to give her anything. Dave and Linda exchange a loaded glance. She subtly nods at Dave. Katie, honey, he begins. I don't know if that's a good idea, staying with her. Look, I'm just going to say it, Linda says. It's been a while now since we broadcast the message. If people were coming, they'd be here. We've tried calling for help. No feds. No disease control. All the authorities are out of the picture. I think we have to assume they aren't answering their phones because this is happening everywhere. Everywhere? Katie asks. There's no way this shit is statewide, Mateo says. That's impossible. Statewide, Linda repeats. Mateo, I'm saying this might be worldwide. I think we have to assume nobody's alive. Nobody's coming to help us. She looks at Katie. We're on our own. The Black Triangle, Part 10. The group heads back to oncology. Linda in the lead. We have to stay proactive, she says, tapping her watch. 15 minutes. That's how long the modafinilist ought to take to hit us. She turned around, walking backward now. In the meantime, I want to prep the cadavers. Mateo stops. Cadavers? Bodies? Dead ones? Katie echoes. Listen, we know nothing, Linda stresses. If we want to know something, to have any chance of understanding this, then I need to examine the bodies. Even Dave is dubious. You know how to do that? You see any doctors around, Linda retorts. Hey, maybe Miss Nelson's done an autopsy before. Let's ask her. She was an MRI tech, Katie says. For kids. Well, shit, Barbie, I think that leaves me then. Linda turns and strides toward Mrs. Nelson's room. Bunch of goddamn casuals. Mateo leans close to Dave. She's gone round the bend, bro. Dave shrugs. I kinda like it. I'm not cutting anybody up, Katie says weakly. Katie a bitch. No, I'm sorry. You can stay with Miss Nelson, Dave tells her. At least until Linda's done doing what she's going to do. The Black Triangle, Part 11. Ruth Nelson watches Linda connect the IV to her port. Codeine, she asks hopefully. Linda pats the woman's arm. No, Miss Nelson, but this should take the edge off. We might have to run some tests, so we want you awake. Keep those eyes open, okay? I'm so tired. I've been awake all night. I'm going to stay with you, Katie volunteers. I'll help you stay awake. You're a doll, Ruth says. My Lily, she won't shut up about her. Remember that camping trip you took her on? She was in her second month. She needed a friend then, so much, and there you were, sweet Katie. She complained the whole trip, Katie says, chuckling. Oh, that was just her way, perpetually dissatisfied. Ruth brushes dampness from her eyes. The last time she was here, the doctors monopolized her. I hardly saw her. Would you call her for me? Katie blinks hard. Sure, Ruth. I can call her. The Black Triangle, Part 12. Okay, so it's gonna... the next couple parts are real short, so... Katie spills into the hallway, where Linda is talking in hushed tones to the guys. Katie, Dave asks. Katie's eyes shine with tears. I can't do this. Hey, Dave says, reaching for Katie's hand. She's gonna be okay. We're gonna look out for her. I'm not crying for her, Dave. Katie pushes her tears away. She had a good life. She's old. I'm crying for me. Okay, bitch. Sorry. Or don't you recognize selfish tears when you see them? Honey, we're gonna get through... Oh, fuck we, Dave. He blinks. There's no we. There's no us. Don't do that. Don't pretend it's all okay between us. You know as well as I do that things are very fucking far from normal. Linda and Mateo back away slowly. Listen to me, Dave says, dropping his voice. Just a second, okay? Katie tenses like a wild animal. She pulls her hand free of Dave's, sets her jaw, says nothing. The night you left, I don't want to fucking talk about it. Something awful happened that night, but happened. Right, it just happened. Oops, look what just happened. Katie, did I hurt you? Katie recoils. Did you hurt me? I'm saying I don't remember. If I hurt you that night, I need to know so I can make it right, so I can take responsibility. He takes a cautious step toward her. Please, what happened that night? The Black Triangle, Part 13. Katie is bucked from sleep by the sound of crying. She blinks in the darkness, her eyes struggling to adjust to her uh, chiaroscuro bedroom. She sits up, squinting at shadows. Dave, she asks. Part 14. And you were just standing there, she tells Dave. They've broken away from the others and walked to the atrium. She leans on the railing, looking down at the sunny lobby below. Just standing at the mirror. In your underwear, no expression on your face. Except you were sobbing, Dave. Sobbing like you'd lost someone. A totally dead-faced. It was creepy as fuck. Part 15. Katie slips out of the bed and goes to Dave. She puts her hand on his shoulder. His body is superheated, but impossibly rigid. He doesn't seem to notice her. She lets her hand travel up the back of his neck, into his hair, hoping it will dislodge him from whatever nightmare has him locked up. Don't come closer to me, he'd warned her, early in their relationship. I don't sleep well. If you see me do anything weird, just stay away from me, please. Part 16. But you just stood there, Katie tells Dave, who can't seem to look up from his shoes. 10 minutes. 20. I finally went back to bed. I know you always told me, don't touch me, Dave recites. But you did. I know that when these things happen to you, they're outside your control, she says. I know it isn't intentional, but that doesn't make it easy. Doesn't make it not scary to live with you. Dave, sometimes it was terrifying. I don't understand, Dave says. You left because I turned into a statue? A crying one? No, she says, her voice shrinking. I left because of what you did next. Part 17. Katie pulls the blanket tightly around her knees. Dave, she says, studying his moonlight form across the room. I have to go to sleep. I have an early shift. He doesn't answer, and she burrows into the blankets. I wish I could help you, she thinks to herself. I wish you'd let me. Then Dave screams. Part 18. My blood just turned to slush, she tells him now, shaken by the memory. The way you screamed, I couldn't tell if it was like someone was murdering you or you were the one doing the murdering. Despite the stimulants battling back sleeping pills in his bloodstream, Dave is utterly still. What then? He asks. Part 19. Katie gathers the blankets to her chest. Dave? He sobs wordlessly. Dave, honey, what's... With a speech she wouldn't have expected from a sleepwalking man, he abruptly drives a fist into the mirror. His silvery reflection spiderwebs, then shatters with a second punch. Katie shrieks as shards of mirror fall to the floor. She watches, unable to move, as Dave bends over and picks up the longest fragment, curling his finger around its sharp edges. Part 20. Dave's face pales. You didn't hurt me, Katie says, aware now that she's reassuring him during a recounting of the most frightening night of her life. You'd hurt yourself, though, right in front of me. And I couldn't handle that, Dave. I couldn't... You know why. So I left. I can't believe you don't remember any of this. She reaches for him now, placing a hand tentatively on his chest. Dave twitches at her touch. How could you not remember? She asks. She touches the first button of his shirt, then deftly unfastens it. His collar spreads open, revealing the t-shirt beneath. The proof is right. Dave captures her hand with his. Don't, he says. Please don't. She holds his gaze a moment, then takes her hand away and sits on a bench next to a yellowing ficus. She leans forward, elbows on her knees, and runs her fingers deep into her hair. After that, she says, I couldn't be with you, Dave. You scared the shit out of me. For you, yes, but for me too. I felt vulnerable, like a relapse was inevitable, so that I wouldn't have to remember what I'd seen you do, so I wouldn't have to be afraid of you. Katie, I won't go back to what I was, she says, eyes flashing. Not for anybody, not even for you. I understand, he says, sitting in a chair opposite her. Just like that? He shrugs. I know I'm not easy to live with. Understatement of the year. What can I say? You want me to tell you I'm fucked up, Katie? I'm fucked up. We're all fucked up, Dave. But you weren't honest with me. With me, your partner. I made a decision a long time ago. A choice. There are things that could only hurt others if they knew. About my condition, about my past, they'd only scare you. God, do you ever listen to yourself? How was that your choice? She pulls her knees to her chest, turns sideways on the bench. Recovery is about facing your problems, head on, not pretending they don't. Are we interrupting something here? Kitty glares up at Mateo, who raises his hands apologetically. Sorry, he says. I didn't know where you went, but I heard. Well, Dave, the Undertaker awaits. It's time. Dave looks at Katie. She's breathing hard, in fight mode. To be continued? Whatever. Go. Katie, go, she snaps. I'm sure slicing up bodies with a crazy nurse is less scary to you than this conversation is. So, go. Part 21. Mateo and Dave pause at the operating room doors. Hey, Mateo says. Are you okay? No, Dave says, but who is? Through the porthole, they can see a body laid out on the examination table, draped in a powder blue sheet. Linda stands over the corpse, cracking her knuckles methodically. She's like Dr. Kevorkian, Mateo says, wrinkling his nose. I gotta be honest, she kind of skeeves me out a bit, but Dave raises one eyebrow. But it's weirdly kind of hot, Mateo confesses, the way she just shoves us all around and does what she wants. Damn, bro. Let's get this over with, Dave says. Part 22. Took you long enough, Linda says as the guys push through the OR doors. Research, Mateo says, wiggling his phone. I couldn't find any how to dismember a corpse how-tos on YouTube, though. Try searching for the happy coroner next time, Linda says, unfazed. Dave, can you help me here? The table's too high. You mean you're too short, Mateo jabs, tapping new search keywords on his phone. There's a latch on your left side, Linda instructs. Just under yeah, right there. Okay, and there's a release too. Just step on the lever on the right side and the table drops several inches, catching Dave off guard. The body on the table wobbles like like a jello mold under plastic wrap. Is it supposed to do that? It's a body, not a statue, Linda says. Thank you. This is better. Fuck me, silly, Mateo says, holding up his phone. Dave, there's a legit someone on YouTube sawing up dead people. He brings the phone back to his face and watches a little longer. Linda, maybe you want to throw this on while you work, like a cooking show? Like deboning a chicken or some Juliet Child shit. Julia, Dave says. Cute, Linda says, but I'm good. Her voice betrays her vibrating, her voice betrays her, vibrating slightly. One of you needs to hold the what? The cam, me, Mateo says urgently. That's me. I'm the camera guy. Dick, Dave mutters. You remember when you were in school? Did they ever do that Halloween game where you put your hand in a box and you can't see what's inside and they're all, it's the eyeballs of the dead, and it's really peeled grapes? I nearly passed out, Mateo confesses. And then, to show me it was just grapes, one of the parent volunteers took one of the eyeballs out of the box and popped it into their mouth. And you better believe I threw up all over that box. So yeah, you do not want my head in some dead fucker's guts. Brain, Linda corrects. We're leaving the guts alone. Damp, cold spaghetti noodles, Mateo says, remembering. Yeah, no. Camera guy, right here. Tell me where to point. I think it'll be pretty obvious, Dave says. Guys, let's do this, okay? Linda says, please, be pros. Mateo switches to video mode and holds his phone up. Dude, Dave says, landscape, you moron. Hold on, I'm trying to see how much. I think we can read one more part and then we'll probably have to call it there. Part 23. All I'm saying is, would it kill her to send me a text message? Ruth, you text? Katie asks, forcing a smile. You're such a modern woman. Don't mock an old lady, Ruth says. But really, when you have a daughter like mine, you call, you text, you FaceTime, you raise carrier pigeons, you keep every imaginable line of communication open. She shakes her head sadly. Maybe your parents know what I mean. My parents... Katie trails off. Ruth grimaces. I'm sorry, honey, I didn't mean to... No, it's fine. Katie shrugs. We aren't close. I haven't even talked to them since the last time I flunked out of rehab. I think they've given up on me. I think they've given up to me. If you want to know the truth, but Maybe I haven't called them because I wanted to be sure that I'm good this time, that it's stuck. If they're good parents, they'll understand. They'll be happy to hear from you under any circumstances. Katie's eyes mist over. I just thank you, Ruth. Now, Ruth says, patting her bony lap with free hands. Where's that damn daughter of mine? I'll try her again in a few minutes, Katie says. Her phone is connected to Ruth's charger. I don't think it's juiced enough yet. Katie bites back a yawn, but Ruth notices. You can use that little couch over there, she suggests. Catch a few winks. Sometimes Lily sleeps there when she visits, though she does say it hurts her back. No, I'm okay, Katie says, but her second yawn exposes the lie. Ruth cocks her head. Katie, dear, you'd tell me the truth if I asked for it, wouldn't you? Katie blinks rapidly. The truth? About what's going on. What's going on? Katie asks innocently. Innocently? Honey, Ruth says. My nurses are missing. You're here with me. You're here with no good reason, she shrugs. Something's going on. You know what it is, and you're not telling me. Katie glances up at the television. Another Columbo. Look at that. I could scream, you know. Ruth, please. But I don't think anyone would come, would they? Of course they would, Katie says weakly. Just the way they did the first 100 times I yelled for help this morning, right? Ruth nods at Katie's silence. It's all right, dear. You'll tell me when you're ready. Ugh, and that is... Well, it's not the end of the section, but we're at part 24 of the Black Triangle, and we're going to leave it there for right now, because we are just about at time. I will be streaming tomorrow. It's heavy rain tomorrow. I'm not sure how far we are into the game or how much we have left of it, but I'm very excited to play tomorrow. I'm sure most of you are asleep right now, but don't leave just yet if you are awake, because we're going to go raid someone real quick. We're going to do a little raid train. Let's see. Who are we going to raid? Let's go raid Cheechin. I'm sure he's probably about to finish soon, actually, but we're going to go raid him anyway. All right. We're going to go raid Cheechin. But anyway, yes, stream tomorrow. Hopefully I will catch you guys then. If not, I will catch you in the next one. But have a good night, day, whatever it may be for you travelers. And bye-bye.